Hey everyone, it's March 30th, 2023. It's Finance Nation here. And so I have some notes that I've written, why tipping is so out of control in the US, a reaction to the CNBC video that came out a few hours ago. So my first notes are gratitude and victimization. People are grateful for what they can offer. So the tip is is something that they can offer them. And people know others are grateful no matter the amount of the tip. So grateful and victimization. Now on to the victimization. Victimization, entitlement to a tip, regardless of the situation, and entitlement from the owner to have the customers subsidize the employees' wages. Of course, there's more you can put in the comment section. That is something that I had come up with. There's many more, and that's a little slanted, of course, to say, oh, the employees are being, subsidized by the owner. Or that it was entitlement or victimization or gratitude, because the owner can be very grateful for the successful of the business and just wants the employees to be compensated more, because you could basically lose a sale in order to be like, oh, I'm reserving this for the tip. And that's happened to me at a restaurant before. So someone in the CNBC video mentioned tipping of a mechanic, and I was like, a mechanic? I was like shocked by this tipping possibility, because they could be tips not just above the median wage in America. They could be tipped. They could be making already some really rich, amazing wages within a very short amount of time when they have the certifications. Okay, so I don't think it's the same thing as tipping maids or a babysitter, a teenage lawnmower, or a restaurant worker or anything like that. It was just like, when it comes to that, I do think that tipping is out of control. I'm not sure I've seen tipping on that end before. I was like, tipping? I was like, are y'all paid bad? I would be like that probably. But really, when it comes to restaurants, so I wrote in the description, Starbucks should pay their workers. They charge $1 million dollar factor net worth for their $1 million latte factor for their okay. Starbucks should pay their workers. They charge $1 million latte factor net worth for their product. And this refers to David Bach's latte factor, on how a latte a day over a period of something like 30 years. I think the returns he gives 10%. But still, he only does 5 days. Some people go 7 days a week. It turns into like $1 million, over $1 million. And this could be cigarettes. This could be alcohol. It could be, for me, my latte factor is probably, it used to be coffee creamer for my coffee, because I would go through coffee creamer a lot, but now I've cut that back a lot more, and I've switched coffee creamers because the liquid coffee creamer skyrocketed with the inflation, so I switched to the powder. And then but no tip, but a no tip worker, a Starbucks worker, didn't get that. Rewind, and if you didn't get that, rewind and watch it again. That's what I was saying. Oh, sorry. So, but Starbucks is a multi-million-dollar company. So, some people can tip and, whatever. This video also talked about how a 20% tip could now be considered cheap, and tell you what, at one point I was earning just above $10.10 an hour or something like that. That could be an exact amount. It was a few years ago, and the restaurant was empty when I came in, and I might have ordered $10 or $15. I only did it twice, and the item I remember one time was more, and one time it was less. And so it was probably $15 the first time and $10 less, and $10 the second time. And I paid the same amount of tip, and it was like $5. And it had nothing to do, and I only stayed in there 35 minutes. But what I'm getting at is not spending that much, 20 or 25%, if that is cheap, including situations like those. I don't even go to restaurants any longer, but 20%, really cheap is my idea. But I was sitting there, and so with that said, it's like the 2 Cents YouTuber has a tip video regarding this theory that people don't tip based on service, good or bad service. They don't base on any of these things. They base on whatever it is that they base it on personally. And so for me, I based it on they get $2 and something cents per hour. I also based it on, I remember both times the whole restaurant was empty. And the restaurant's still open. I think it's open on, it's hopping. Every single time I look on the weekends, it's going, it's IHOP. So it's really busy on the weekends, so I had gone during the week. But, so I don't go anymore, but, I save my money now. But, of course, that's not true for everyone, but I realize it might be for me when I used to go out by myself. So it's tipping out of control. CNBC also mentioned that it was used in the past, tipping was used in the past to pay Black people less. And that sounds really bad. It was initiated with slavery, and this is not the first time I come across this. And so initiating it with slavery to not have to adopt the minimum wage, to be like, oh, we have to pay them the same amount as white workers, and literally have to be in servitude to the white people that had possibly domineered them or enslaved them or however it had been, and then treat them with proper customer service for a potential tip, or because of lack of fear of getting fired or anything like that. And so to be in that position, on flat out evil from a customer, knowing, like, to be in that position, whether a manager, because I work in a retail store, whether a manager is going to back up a cruel customer or not, is just not a nice place to be in, because it really also makes you think negative of the management team as well when you don't have that support. And I've had that support in the past where they've said, oh, I have your support, my direct supervisor, my direct front-end manager, and she was fabulous. So with that said, please be nice to your customer service reps on the phone and your cashiers. And I've heard some pretty great, terrible things on people who inspect the cars, because they're like, that car should pass inspection because they just spent all this money. They spent thousands of dollars on it, and now it didn't pass inspection. And so they might get cursed out or something. So, yeah, I hear some terrible... And then people who work at banks as well. Of course, some of those people probably make much more, but they are still working with the public. So I don't know what that was about. And then, yeah, so like I said, you don't know what some of these people make. So at my store, we're in a union, and you can see the pay range from a few years ago. And I remember the pay range for some of the same associate positions, same associate level positions technically, had like at least maybe a $10, to my recollection, best of my recollection. This was a few years ago, and so it could be larger now. It was a $10 difference based on your retail experience, your department, what year you started. So like a $10 difference. And so that's a huge range. Some people are getting paid well, obviously. So, so you don't know what they're making. And so, don't thumb your nose down on them because they could be making more than you, depending on what you're making. But would you like, if Walmart suddenly said, would you like to tip the Walmart employees at this location a percentage of your bill? Let's say your bill's $400. So they start off at the end of the screen, touch screen, it says 1%. 3%, 5%, or 10%, and have a custom tip option, and a no tip. So the minimum tip, pre-offer tip, would come to $4. Never mind that it is a billion-dollar company, and that this is how I feel about it. So what do you do? Is it tipping out of control at that point, or is it already out of control? When the next company, or does it take some other more small companies to do this? I used to go to Waffle House, and Waffle House had, at the time, at least I don't know if they still do, a 10% minimum tip for to-go orders. And so I was like, there was no extra service, no extra customer service, but I sometimes just wouldn't take it because I was like, they're going to charge me and they're not going to provide me a waiting service? That doesn't seem right. But I wasn't thinking with common sense, because I always tipped more than 10%, like at least 20%. And this is back in 2013, 2014. So the CNBC video that's talking about 20% cheap, they are talking closer to 2022 and 2021. But, and then when logic hit me, I was like, you'll save money if you just take the 10%. And then also this was, so I wasn't tipping on the dollar menu when I was tipping. I was tipping like 100%, because I would get the dollar menu and they disbanded from that. And that's why I don't go to Waffle House anymore. So I would get like a $1 or $2 meal and then tip $2 or $3 because I know what they're making. And so, I'm tipping over 100% at that point. But, so, just to go, okay, I'm just not going to get the wait service and then, only pay 10%. It was finally like, it finally hit me. And so, but in the Waffle House case, am I going to require a tip, like a cover charge to the bar because you are not buying any drinks or spending money, but you just come to dance? The bar also wants tips if you go get drinks. What else are you going to tip them for the new upcoming out of control requisition? To just tip to stand in line to get into there that you don't get into. I remember there was parking, so there was a parking fee, so now there's a parking fee and there's a line to get in, and you might not even get in and you already paid for parking. If I can help it, going to a competitor, participating in the industry much. So I'm not going to be participating in the industry much. I'll be going to a competitor if tipping industry gets so out of control where it's a requisition to do something, as far as like, oh, you have to pay for parking, oh, you have to pay for this, oh, you have to pay for oxygen, but of course we want to keep the economy stronger and vibrant. So how do we do it? We innovate and create money with debt on our credit cards full of tips we cannot afford to stress ourselves out in order to relax, because we deserve apple pie too. So I was saying, let's create money. And so the concept of creating money is with interest. People are not paying off their credit cards, and the concept of creating money. And Minority Mindset has some videos is a YouTuber that has some videos on how money can be created with debt in the system and how it enters the economy with interest, with the banks. But all right, I could go on and on, but I had to cut myself off. And I'm glad I did, because I'm at 14 minutes now. But I'm not a financial advisor, so this is not financial advice because I did mention the David Bott thing or anything else that you could construe as financial advice. This is just all entertainment purposes. This is a reaction video. And so I hope you really enjoyed and had a great kick out of it. And, comment, like, subscribe, and enjoy everything. Hopefully the podcast on Spotify will be back up soon. I only have a few on there. They are different from what's on here. And so, let me know. And, just comment whatever other videos, or whatever research you want me to see if I could do anything on. But I hope you have a good day. Thanks. All right. Talk to you later.